Hey, Anthony. Nice to see you. It's Anthony Ramos from GLAAD. Okay, I'm so excited about this show on Netflix. It's called Easy Bake Battle. And of course, it's inspired by this oven that we all know and love from our childhood. What was your connection? I mean, was it something that you loved growing up too?
First of all, I'm glad that it seems like we went to the same store to buy our shirts.
Well, that's a big compliment and I accept it. Anthony, and we're wearing the same colors. We're in.
Meant to be. It's kismet. Serendipitous. I was obsessed with the Easy Bake Oven growing up. I saw the commercials while I would watch Saturday morning cartoons with my sisters. And when I asked my parents if we could go to Toys R Us and get one, they politely declined, saying that we already had an oven and that we don't have no need for another one. So I went with this angst and this repression my whole life. And now as a grown adult trying to figure out what my singular voice would be like in the culinary world, I had to relive my youth and finally lean into my love of the Easy Bake Oven and decided to have a show that honors it.
You're finally getting your revenge. I love this because
Yes.
you're focusing on the home cook and they can win a lot of money. I mean, how cool is it for you? I mean, you're always so good about giving back, but this is great to give people that are just trying to do the best they can with what they have in their house, and then now they can be $100,000 richer.
That's exactly it, because I think that, on Queer Eye, we always talk about these unsung heroes, these people who do so much at home or for their community. And I think that with home cooks, I relate because I've always identified as a home cook. I wasn't, classically trained or didn't go to culinary school or anything, but it's like you have these moms who are making meals for their children and then their partners whenever they come home from work and having to make completely different things. And it's like to be able to show that what they do has worth and value and being able to kind of honor them and celebrate them is incredible. I'm also a big fan of Jeopardy. So being an EP on the show, I got to have a little bit of creative control over some of the stuff. And I wanted the idea of I love the idea of being able to follow somebody as they win an episode to move up from 25,000 to 50 to 75 to hopefully 100 and getting to know more about their personalities and who they are. We added some personal touches because I feel like as much as I love a competition and I love watching cooking competition shows, at the end of the day, we're all in it together and we're all a lot more similar than we are different. So even the confessional moments, I call them the Kardashian moment, where they're speaking to camera about what their process was like. We have moments where we put the contestants together, where they get to kind of amp each other up and relate. We have an episode with moms about what it's like to cook for their kids. And they kind of get to, have a little moment together. So I wanted it, even though it is a little cutthroat, I wanted to have those moments of the warmth and the heart and the love that were there that I learned were so, that's so important on Queer Eye.
I love that. This show comes out October 12th on Netflix. You mentioned kids, which leads me, I got to bring up Spirit Day, the biggest anti-LGBTQ youth bullying day of the year. You always participate, but just tell us why it's so important to support our kids today. And I can imagine families coming together to watch your show together, but in schools and beyond, why must we support our LGBTQ kids?
Well, selfishly, first of all, they are literally our future. They will be running the world, so we have to set them up for success. But also, it's I was just reading an article in the New York Times that was talking about anybody under the age of 65 should have an anxiety test. The pandemic, the state of the world. And when I think of younger people, think of the effects that social media has on them. There are so many things that, I won't say are going against them, but kind of stuff that's out there that doesn't feel like it can necessarily always be a safe space. And I feel like we have a responsibility to give them the best leg up that we possibly can. And there's never a single excuse for bullying in any single way, shape, or form. School is where you're supposed to learn the basics. It's where you're supposed to be encouraged to be creative, to figure out your voice, what your voice is, who you are, who you want to be, the type of person you want to be, and we owe it to them just to make them feel safe, they can encourage that, however that manifests itself.
Very well said. Last question for you. What is the go-to dish you would make for someone you were going on a first date or you were newly dating? What's the dish that would really impress and seal the deal?
Well, the first dish I ever made for my partner were soft scrambled eggs with Tompkins square bagels, which I ordered. And he was very impressed, and he's stuck around 3+ years. So
hey, eggs and bagels, it works every time. Well, Antoni, it's very nice to catch up with you.
Likewise.
Yeah, and just a reminder, everyone, you can check out Easy Bake Battle. It is so much fun, starring this guy right here on October 12th on Netflix.